John, you're at your third season. Did you ever think this show would be this successful?
You know, I really didn't think about it much at all, to be honest with you. I mean, really my attachment to the show goes, back to the pilot, simply receiving a script that I personally felt was the best piece of television that I'd ever read. That being said, I had absolutely no clue as to how the show would be received, once it's aired. So with running the risk of sounding almost too passive about it, I mean, it's been a very pleasant surprise. It's a nice thing to be able to stand here at the beginning of year 3.
How has Matt changed over the past 3 seasons, and is it ever difficult to play his character?
How has he changed? God, I mean, I think at the start of Matt's story, he was very much somebody who was affected and steered by the influence that his family, quite frankly, had upon him. And now that we're going into season 3, I think he's realized that perhaps he's not necessarily surrounded by the best of human beings, and though he may be incredibly misguided, he's branching out on his own and going on his own sort of journey, I guess, of self-discovery.
Well, in season 2, Matt and Ava had a very compelling and interesting relationship. Is anything going to be pushed farther than that in the 3rd season?
Yeah, no question. I can't say what, but yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And has this show changed your perception at all of plastic surgery in general?
Yeah, it has. I mean, I think, quite frankly, it's softened my view of plastic surgery, oddly enough. Before I started the show, I had a very sort of black and white view of it. I couldn't quite understand why somebody would elect to make a dramatic change to their features. I didn't understand that. And then, after working on the show, what you realize is that, all of us have been guilty of looking for answers in, potentially the wrong places. So on that level, I kind of get it. It's your thing may be a bottle of whiskey. Somebody else, it may be a shot of Botox. You know what I mean? It's sort of, one's neither better nor worse than the other. So if anything, it kind of softened, because I get that. I've been guilty of that. So of looking for some sense of peace or an answer in not necessarily the best of places. So yeah.
Well, Christian and Sean sure do have an interesting relationship, and they have an enduring friendship. Why do you think it continues to last after all their ups and downs?
Well, I think, and this is really from an audience member, just watching the episodes as they're completed. What I get is I get a sense that, there's a real sense of fundamental love that exists between them that was probably bred years ago before they, stepped into this professional world. And obviously, they're bonded through the fact that they share a son, literally, and also through the fact that, they started this journey that they're on together.
Well, Smirnoff has thrown you a great party, so go ahead and enjoy yourself. Thanks for talking to us.
No, thank you so much. Absolutely. Take care. See you.